Astra, of course, made the standard service pistol for the Spanish military in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, but they also made an export model, the A300.
The Astra story really begins with a pistol called the Campo Hierro, which was designed by a Spanish nobleman called Count Campo Hierro. He invented this pistol, which was adopted by the Spanish military around the first decade of the 20th century. And from his design, a pair of partners, Senors Esperanza and Senor Uncieta, formed a partnership, and based on the basic layout and the design of the Campo Hierro, Esperanza and Uncieta worked out a design to produce a very simple, very robust, beautifully made pistol, and their gun was adopted with the Spanish military as the Modelo 1921. Commercially, Astra called it the Model 400 Astra.
For those who peruse gun shows and gun shops, the Astra 400 is pretty commonly encountered, and it's an interesting firearm. It's all steel. It's a bit on the large side, a bit on the heavy side. But a lot of people haven't seen the 300. 300 was a compact variant of the same design, chambered in what the Spanish called 9mm Corto. We call it the 380 ACP. The gun also was available in 7.65 Browning, which we call 32 ACP. And the 300 was a bit of an achievement in the sense that, being all steel, it was just over 6 inches long and just over 20 ounces, about 22 ounces. So compared to the 400 series and the larger guns, it was truly a subcompact version almost of that design.
The Astra 300 is a really cool semi-automatic blowback pistol in 32 or 380 that was made in Spain in the 1930s and 1940s. They made about 108,000 of them, and they were really well-made pistols. I mean, you don't think you know, World War II period guns, Spain doesn't rocket to the top of the list of extremely collectible or fantastic pistols with a lot of panache and romance to them. But certainly if you stare at one long enough, it'll grow on you. And I really like the Astras.
During the history of the Third Reich, Nazi Germany made use of a very large number of foreign-made weapons. The Astra 300 came in two calibers, and Nazi Germany acquired both of them. The 7.65mm Browning, which is also known as 32 ACP, and then what the Germans designated 9mm Kurz, or what we know as the 380 cartridge. A simple, direct blowback, hammerless automatic pistol. These were valued by the Luftwaffe because of the fact that they were, first of all, unique in appearance, and then also because they were highly reliable pistols manufactured in Guernica. The most desirable Astra 300 pistols to get your hands on are the ones that were actually in German service and bear a German Waffenamt, and the Waffenamt that they would bear is the WAA 251 stamp, meaning that it was a pistol produced in Spain that was obtained by Nazi Germany and put into field use.
The 400s were commercially marketed in the United States in the 30s only in very small numbers. The 600s were again only in a few token numbers, but quite a few 300s, both in 38 and in 32, were marketed commercially throughout Europe and even after the war. In the United States, and met with a fair bit of success. They were very They were very simple. They were very, they had broad expanses of fine curved metal that could be very nicely engraved. And so occasionally you see some nicely engraved or damascened examples.
The Astra A300 is actually a fairly heavy gun, especially when it's in 380 ACP. It's very pleasant to shoot. The grip angle is a little different, and these are guns that look like ray guns. And in the case of the 300, it's like a little bitty ray gun. But they have crisp triggers. They don't kick much, and they're really fun to shoot. It's obvious that this is a gun from a different era. And after World War II, they got away from this design, and sadly, all the Spanish handgun makers today are gone.